So if you want to write a romance book or a romance movie, well, here's your structure. This is a story about two characters who have feelings for each other, but they don't admit it. And they dance around it with little hints and little teases. So the reader or the viewer knows that they have feelings for each other, but they don't. The whole time the tension is building because we know they should kiss. They should be together, but they don't. What are they doing? Why are they teasing us? But then something changes. There's some external factor that forces them to admit how they feel. In this video, we re-gone. Nah. Take a look at what that looks like in 10 popular romance movies and TV shows. Now, fair warning, there will be spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen these films, I highly recommend watching them, by the way. So, if you're cool with that, let's get started. The last thing Fa expected was for Ink to ask her out. In fact, she convinced herself that the late afternoon sun casts golden streaks across the campus as she stood by the vending machine, nervously clutching her phone. She had read the message over and over again. Ink, can we talk? Rooftop? Fa's heart. Why now? She whispered to herself, biting her lip. For months, they danced around their feelings in stolen glances, inside jokes, and late-night texts that lingered too long, but they never dared to name what they had. Ink was her best friend, her chaos and calm wrapped into one. Fa had always loved her, not just as a friend, not just as someone to lean on. It was deeper, quieter, and terrifying. The message was short and sweet and to the point. No emojis, which meant Ink wasn't joking. Fatuk, the stairs 2 at a time. The rooftop was bathed in amber light, the wind gentle as if holding its breath for them. Ink was already there, sitting on the ledge, her headphones around her neck. She looked up as Fa approached, eyes shimmering but unreadable. I thought you'd ignore me, Ink said with a half smile. I almost did, Fa admitted, but my heart said otherwise. Ink stood up, taking a step closer. Then listen to it. Fa, please. Because mine has been screaming your name for so long. Fa froze. Ink, what are you saying? Ink exhaled. Voice, soft. I've been in love with you since the day you lent me your umbrella, even though you were soaking wet already. Since the day you stayed up all night to help me cram for finals. Since you held my hand when I cried in the bathroom over my ex. A lump rose in Fa's throat. She remembered every single one of those moments. But you never said anything, Faye said, her voice cracking. Neither did you, Ink whispered. We were both scared. Silence lingered. Then Ink pulled out her phone and played a song. It was slow, familiar. Nothing's gonna change my love for you. Fa's eyes welled up. I've listened to this every night thinking of you because no matter what happens, who we become, where life takes us, nothing's going to change my love for you. Fa stepped forward, took Ink's hand, and placed it over her racing heart. This has always been yours. Their foreheads touched. Ink whispered. Then why didn't we say it before? Because we didn't believe we deserved it, Fa said, tears slipping free. But we do. We deserve this. The sunset kissed their skin as their lips met. Gentle, hesitant at first, then full of every unsaid word, every missed moment. Later, sitting side by side, legs dangling over the ledge, Fa leaned her head on Ink's shoulder. What now? She asked. Ink smiled, brushing Fa's hand with hers. Now we write our own story. One where we stop being afraid, Fa chuckled. And one where I finally get to call you mine. Ink kissed her temple. You always were. Here's what happened. Fa realized that something was off. So she decided to take action. She made plans to confront Ink to force her feelings out into the open. And that's what happens in our stories. Our protagonist makes a decision to change something. And that decision creates conflict because things rarely go according to plan. In our story, Ink tells Fa that she loves her, but she doesn't actually tell her anything new. Fa already knows that Ink likes her. They've been dancing around it for so long that Fa is aware of Ink's feelings, but she's never said anything. And the reason is quite simple. There's a scene earlier in the movie where Ink tells Fa that she's beautiful, and instead of accepting the compliment, Fa pushes her away. That's her defense mechanism. That's how she deals with this overwhelming feeling that she has for Ink. And that's why Ink never said anything, because she was afraid of rejection. So they were both scared. At this point in the movie, they've been friends for a while. They know each other really well. They have a deep connection. And so when Ink asks Fa to go on top of the roof, it makes sense that Fa would agree. In fact, the entire movie builds towards this moment. It's inevitable. We know it's coming. And when it does, it feels right. It feels like a natural progression of their relationship. It's not random. It's earned. And then comes the most important part. How do they actually express their feelings? How do they communicate? Well, Ink is subtle. She doesn't explicitly say, I love you, but instead she lists all of these memories that they shared together. These are intimate moments that only they would know about, and she uses them to show how she feels. Fa listens intently. She doesn't interrupt. She's completely focused on Ink. And that's important because it shows that she cares about Ink's feelings. She wants to hear her out. Once Ink is done, she pulls out her phone and plays a song. It's a song that Ink has listened to every night thinking of Fa. It's a song that represents their relationship. And when Fa steps forward and holds Ink's hand, it's a clear indication that she understands how Ink feels. She gets it. She feels the same way. It's a powerful moment because it's so quiet. There's no grand gesture, no fireworks. It's just two girls on a rooftop admitting how they feel about each other. And that's what makes it so effective. It's real. It's raw. It's honest. After they kiss, the movie doesn't end. It continues, and that's another important thing to remember. Just because your character admits their feelings, it doesn't mean that their story is over. In fact, it's just beginning. Fa and Ink still have to figure out how to be together. They still have to deal with the consequences of their actions. And they still have to grow as individuals. But now they have each other. They have someone to lean on, someone to support them, and someone to love them. If you want to write a romance book or a romance movie, well, here's your structure. This is a story about two characters who have feelings for each other, but they don't admit it. And they dance around it with little hints and little teases. So the reader or the viewer knows that they have feelings for each other, but they don't. The whole time the tension is building because we know they should kiss, they should be together, but they don't. What are they doing? Why are they teasing us? But then something changes. There's some external factor that forces them to admit how they feel. If you're looking for more tips on writing romance, check out this playlist here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.